So Cabernet Sauvignon is the king of red grapes. Chardonnay is the queen of whites. So California's most widely planted white grape. Chardonnay classic descriptors, that green apple, that pear, that citrus flavor, that medium to full body. The wine is often aged in oak to produce that toasty, vanilla, buttery flavor. Diverse locations with varying terroirs allow Chardonnay grapes to express an array of different tastes and aromas. So you can pick and choose what you're looking for. So cold climate vineyards in these in Santa Maria, warmer wine growers in the Napa. So we're getting into Chardonnay, you've all got some left, maybe. So came around with the unoaked Chardonnay. So it's often aged in stainless steel, concrete, or neutral oak tanks. These wines are a highlight of the varietal's natural flavor. You taste more of the grape than you do of the process. And if any of you have any left, we'll start passing this around. But I'd wait. Give it a sec. Put it in your glass, smell it.
What's this one?
So the first one that we tried is the River Road Chardonnay Unoaked Reserve, specifically. So that is an unoaked Chardonnay. 100% Chardonnay through and through. Now this one in particular is their Sur Lie aged one. So it is unoaked, no barrels, put in stainless steel, but they left it on the yeast for longer. That'd be the Sur Lie. The Sur Lie is the yeast. So they left it on there for longer, so it picks up a little bit more of that bready, creamy richness from the yeast it's resting on. It's not as light, bright, and zesty as some other unoaks, which they do make a great deal of. This one has a little bit more body to it. So this is River Road. So Ron Rubin was the founder of the Republics of Tea and purchased this in 2011, fulfilling his lifelong dream. Not too shabby. So he started a foundation to train people in California in the importance of CPR after having his life saved roughly 9 times by 3 different pacemakers. He just kept fighting back. Now, something funny about going to visit there, is not a good segue, was that their original winemaker, the last time I met them, was Joe Freeman. So Joe Freeman had been their winemaker for years and years. He'd been working with Ron forever. And a few years ago, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe that long, Ron wrote a book. And he wrote a book about following your dreams and how to achieve them and the effect that following your dreams can have on your life. And being a good friend and coworker, Joe Freeman read that book. And after reading that book, he quit. So he could go and follow his dreams of owning a boat and spending time with his family and ferrying people across lakes. And so he's up in the Midwest doing that now. Luckily for River Road and all of them, the assistant winemaker, Ed Morris, who is also the cooper, who makes all the barrels for them, was right there and knew how to do everything. So when Joe left, Ed Morris stepped up. So here's Ron talking about his series of pacemakers. As soon as we got there, after they finished dancing and rolling out the red carpet, they brought us up to the side and showed us all this. And he talked about all the pacemakers, his history with the Republic of Tea, and what his old defibrillator used to do for him. And he showed his old pacemaker and said he's got a newer version already installed because this one burned out. So he's been putting things to work. Oh, and River Road is a certified V corporation, which I hadn't heard of at the time. It was actually a pretty cool thing.
It's very cool.
See, you know it.
Vermont is loaded with them.
Oh, really?
Ski Valley is a certified beach.
That's awesome. So it's a matter of how are you taking care of your community and your workers? And you get graded on that. Are your workers, how is your company taking care of your workers and improving their lives and well-being? How are you doing with the environment and company prioritizing that? How do you make sure that your company's governance considers all the stakeholders? And how are you taking care of your community and your customers? And so River Road cares actively about all those things to the point that on every one of their shirts they had the little Be Certified logo. Now this is Ed Morris, surrounded by his barrels, talking about all the aging he does and the cooperage that he works on. And somebody had the gall to ask him while he was discussing everything, how do you feel as a cooper that your most popular wines are unoaked?
The most popular wines are what?
Unoaked. The wines that you make that everyone wants don't use any of the barrels that you make. He kind of shrugged and said he's just happy people enjoy his wines. Which really is the best answer you could give. So what did you think of that one? The first one, the River Road. Pretty good, right? Did you taste the difference of that surly, that little bit of yeast, that fuller body?